Hi everyone, my name is Yagazie Egware, founder and lead creative at Gasmadu Studios. Today, we are having a veteran, an exceptional photographer, a mentor, a teacher here on the Creative Conversations Corner. All we're doing here is bringing you the lights that you need. And, I'm hoping that through the conversations that we're going to be having today, you're going to be inspired, you're going to be empowered, and you're going to get something out of this, something that you need and that you can always refer to many years to come. So I'm going to introduce us to Mr. Dayo Adedayo.
Oh, thank you for having me. My name is dayo Adedayo, the CEO of dayo Adedayo Photography and the incoming DAP Experience Center, Lagos. Thank you.
So we've already started the conversation, around the disruptors in the photography industry. Like I said, it's the Creative Conversations Corner, and you're the first person that we're having this way like this, and it's just such an honor and a blessing anytime I have, to sit with you and talk with you, and you have inspired me and been a blessing to me in many ways. So thank you, sir.
Oh, thank you for having me. I'm humbled and honored.
Okay, so you've been in the photography industry for, if I'm not mistaken, 29 or how many years now, sir?
36.
36 years. Wow. Wow. Well done, sir. Well done, sir. It's such an honor all the time. So, just to take us back and briefly, what sparked your interest in photography back then? Can you really remember? Not how you started, but what sparked that interest?
Well, that's pretty straightforward, simple story. I turned 18 and my sister gave me 110 format camera. Do you know the 110 camera?
No, I don't.
There you go. Yeah, so there's going to be a museum and a gallery where you see all the formats of camera. They are the long cameras.
Oh.
Yeah, the picture quality is lower than 35 mil.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm a shy person. People don't believe me. So from my 18th birthday, I started taking pictures with that camera. So I hide behind the camera, and that's how it all started. So by the time I got to uni, my roommate had a camera, proper 35 mil camera. That was the first time I was Rico, Ishola, Oladele Ishola is now in the US. So I started using it. He doesn't know how to, but I know how to, and that's how. So all my pocket money and stuff, buy films, print. So all I did just for our pictures. So all my friends from the age of 18 till now, I have all their pictures. And God has been kind to me in a way. I think I got that from my mom, really. I keep things, I don't dispose things off.
Wow.
So most of those pictures I have, not the negatives, but the actual pictures themselves. I have
not the negatives, the actual pictures themselves.
Yeah, yes.
So that means you must have a really robust archiving, super organized archiving system.
Yes. I traveled. If I haven't traveled, I think they must have disposed those negatives when I traveled. If I haven't left Nigeria, I will definitely have those negatives.
So back then, what were the things that what were your greatest influences? What were the things that influenced, how you created, how you took pictures, the things that you did?
Just personal pictures, nothing extraordinary, nothing outside, having fun, going out with our friends, taking pictures, and just that, really, nothing extraordinary from that. Right. Because I never knew I'm going to, then my first life, I was an agriculturist. So I never know this is what I will end up doing. But I was just taking pictures, going out. There was nothing like documentary that I don't know. Apparently, I was documenting our lives in those days. And here we are today.
So at what point did you say, you know what, I need to, because I think I listened to an interview that you did and you said, you started photography and it was a hobby, and then you realized that, okay, you need to learn this well, and you had to go to school to study photography. Did you study photography?
Yes, I studied photography in the UK. So what happened was, after getting to the UK, naturally, because I was so consumed with photography in Nigeria, So getting to the UK, I started working with McDonald's. So my first paycheck, I used it to buy a camera, Zenith camera, Russian cameras in those days. Less than £100, but it comes with a 35 mil, 50 mil, then a zoom lens, I think up to about 180 millimeter lens. So you have everything packaged together. And then in Russia, because of the economy, £100 in 1987 was a lot of money. So I started taking pictures. By then, I stopped taking human beings. So I started going out to do landscape. So if I should bring out my negative, because those negatives I still have them from 1987.
Oh, wow.
Yes, and those pictures, all very well kept. London have changed completely from what it was in 1987 to now. So that was when it started. Then one day, a friend of mine, Dad, you did this thing as a professional? I said, yes, now that's what I did, and boom, I got my first job. People started inviting me, calling me, blah, blah, blah. Then I was very well known. There is nothing weddings. I was social photographer. So I started with social photography, weddings, christening, birthdays and stuff, Then someone changed my mentality. Joe Bulaitis, the guy would have passed now. If not, he would be in his 90s or 100. His studio was in Islington, North London. I was at a wedding that he came for. And the way this guy dressed, the way he was taking pictures, he was using a medium format camera. So I felt so dejected that, oh wow, I was using Canon AE1. No, Canon AE1. Was it Canon AE1? Yeah, Canon AE1. It was the most expensive 35mm camera in the 80s. It was the first automated 35mm camera. Before then, you have to use your hand to wind. But AE1 was the first programmed 35mm camera. I was using that. And I said, what kind of camera is this? And it's part of what made me who I am today. Because I critique myself a lot. And I want to learn. I don't believe I know. So anyone I see that is doing better than me, I'll put myself down to learn. Even if you're a young guy, I don't care. So after seeing Joe Bulaitis at that wedding, that's when I said, oh, Dayo, you have to go to school. And thank God I took that decision. And then I was charging peanuts, maybe £150 or £250. And went for my BTech National Diploma. If I had gone to university straight, I won't be dayo Adedayo today. My National Diploma at Westminster College, Battersea, changed my life completely. Because by the time we got into our first year, we didn't even touch camera. The best I got to camera then was biscuit tin that we used to make pinhole photography.
Wow.
So it was like learning the history, the process from 1885 or 86, the first photo shot in France, which was about 10 minutes exposure. And the only person in that picture was someone polishing his shoe. And you have to be static. And because it was a 10 minutes exposure, of course, there's still some movement in between. So that was the first person to be photographed ever. We did that, and I've forgotten the name of the person now. So we went through the history of photography, why it is important. This is more theoretical than practical. So by the time we get into our second year, when we have to hold the camera for the first time, we were taught film flash. Boom, that changed my life. I was charging, by the following weekend, I now started charging £750. From 250 to 750.
Wow.
And that even gives me more jobs coming in, because now I know what I'm doing. Unlike putting the camera on program, flash on program, if the camera is doing the work for you. Yeah. Now I'm the one telling the camera what to do for me. Wow. So that changed my perspective. And of course, after finishing my ND, I was charging about 3,000-4,000. And here we are today.
Wow. Even at that time, because I would say even till now, I don't even think there are still some people that are so good, but they are not even able to command that much, even as much as 900, 700 pounds, for the lot of work that they do. Because I've had conversations with, several creators. But so the photography industry has evolved like so much since that time, right? I mean, it has always had a low barrier of entry, but I think now it has even increased because, I mean, technology, the advancements of the camera, phones, right? What has kept you relevant for over up to 36 years? So I think that's one of the things that people get concerned about, creators, photographers, like, how long am I going to keep doing this? And when is it going to make sense? Is it ever going to make sense? Is this sustainable? Is this really sustainable? So what has kept you relevant for that long?
First, we all have our beliefs. The first thing is grace. And the second thing is grace. And the third thing is grace. Right. Because life is a mystery. My best position in secondary school was 78.
Your best what?
Position in secondary school was 78. Right, out of a class of 120.
Oh, wow.
But they are very brilliant.
Okay.
Exceptionally brilliant. They're exceptionally brilliant. So that's 78 I could have gone to another school and become first.
Right.
Right. So that's grace. So what has kept me on top is determination and the power of prayers. People do not see religion in me because they will hardly see me in church.
Right.
Or go to mosque, but I'm highly spiritual. I'm going deeper and deeper into you now because creatives, like you say, is creativity. And in creativity, there's philosophy. What makes people to say, oh, wow, this image or this is brilliant, is the extra mile you've gone into it. Not the thinking. I mean, not the technical bits, but what you have in your brain, or what will make someone get a pencil and a paper without seeing anything and paint something. It goes beyond teaching. That was why I said grace. I pushed myself a lot in doing things that people don't do. When I was doing photography, my contemporaries, I'm going to be 60 in less than 2 months. None of my contemporaries were doing it.
Yes.
And I believe so very much in myself. And what has kept me is I never looked at the next person. What are you doing? It's none of my business. We are different. I have twins as children. They are completely different. They were conceived same time, born in the space of 1 minute apart from each other, and they are totally different. And that's the way life is. That's the way I see life. I never compare myself to anyone. You might be the best thing after sliced bread. I'll be very happy for you. And that's why I tell people, I'm a sinner. I won't say I'm a saint, but I'm always happy for everybody. So what has made me to be who I am today is grace, the philosophy of thinking outside the box. Because the moment you keep doing the same thing like every other person, we all be like rice. If this studio is filled with rice, you cannot differentiate one grain from the other. But should a grain of bean or corn drop into it, you easily see it. So I don't follow trend. Even when I was in the university, I got knocked off a lot. But at the end of the day, because we don't sit for exams, what we do are practicals. You will know what you are going to do from the beginning of the semester to the end of the semester. I mean, to the end of the year, you get everything you're going to do. So what's now left for you is the time. If you submit 1 minute late, no matter how good it is, you will fail. You can't get more than 40. So during our practicals, the lecturers will say, no, Dayo, do it this way. I'll do my own differently because what I'm seeing is different from what they are seeing. But when we come to critiquing ourselves, it's a different ballgame entirely. People now say, oh, wow, how did you manage to do this? How did you manage to do that? So for me, I don't look at other people's watches like Yoruba people will say, you don't look at other people's timepiece to set your time because the guy might be setting his own time to Californian time or New York time. They're different times. So there is a season for everybody. Now that we're going into the rainy season, just some few weeks ago, it was hot as hell. And that's the way I see life. So what has kept me to be consistent, to be good at what I'm doing is grace, different, and in coming to Nigeria, which is really, really pathetic. And we need to popularize this. Your thinking is your reality. If you are thinking of someone, if you are thinking of calling someone or thinking of someone now, if you don't call that person, within 3, maximum 5 days, that person will call you. Then go to another space. If you curse the land that you walk upon, that land will not bless you. A lot of creatives. I'm coming to photography now. Because you have to be philosophical in this job. If not, you will struggle for the rest of your life.
Wow.
A lot of creatives, most especially in Lagos, what do? Makoko. If they've not photographed Makoko, they are not photographers. Nigeria is bad. Nigeria is this. Nigeria is that. I don't belong to that school. To me, Nigeria is a land of milk and honey. There's too much money in Nigeria if you're looking for money. I didn't set out to look for money. If I tell you today that I set out to look for money, I'm lying. All I'm looking for was success. I want to be successful in what I'm doing. And there is a song, I still sang it this morning, that I sing when I'm in the bathroom. Sung by Kolinti Ayinla. If you are Yoruba, you don't listen to Barrister, Kolinti, Ebenezer Obey, Ayinla Omowura. It will be very hard for you to be successful in life. And that's the truth. Because these guys are philosophers. And I will single out Ebenezer Obey, who is a god with a lowercase g. Unfortunately, because we live at the same time, we do not respect him. We have Shango, Obatala, all these gods, Ogun, and all of them. They're also human beings who did something exceptional in their lifetime. Ebenezer Obey, if you listen to his songs, and you Barrister that died, if you listen to all their songs and you let it sink into you, you will have goosebumps. The song that I sang always was Kolinti Ayinla. Èdùmàrè jẹ́ kí n bá wọn là, kí n bá wọn nílé lórí. Èdùmàrè jẹ́ kí n bá wọn là, kí n bá wọn nílé lórí. Má dojú tì mí láàrin ẹgbẹ́ mi. Má sọ mí dà lárùn ẹ̀bà tí wọ́n wò tí kì í tán. What is he saying? Please God, let me be successful to build a house. Don't put me to shame among my friends. Don't turn me into a leper that they will kill and the leprosy will still be there.
Wow.
Right? I see Nigeria as a land of blessing. The Makoko that you are going to, everybody knows Makoko. Have you been to Damasak, the sandals of Borno, to show people, to say, no, this is Nigeria? There was a picture I took in Borno State, in Kalabage, a lone tree, that I think the last man standing. Only God knows what that picture has given me. I still saw it in one of my advanced house yesterday. The Lord is my shepherd. Because how could a tree survive in the desert? So the more you see negativity on the land, on the environment where you are, the more your life becomes negative.
Wow.
If you don't believe me, Look at your immediate families. I'm not saying look far. Look at your immediate families. The ones that complain most, even when you tell them the sun is coming out tomorrow, they will still find an argument around this. They'll say, but how could the sun? The sun will not come out now. Look at their lives. Their lives is miserable. So I try as much as possible to move away from friends who are always a little consumer. I moved away from them because otherwise, before you know it, you get sucked into what they are doing. And at the end of the day, your thinking will be different.
Wow.
So what has kept me all along is God's grace, the ability to be able to think, and my mom. If you have a mother, if your mother is still alive, do everything you can to make her happy.
Wow.
There is no pope, no prophet, no bishop, no reverend father, no babalawo, no juju man can pray for you more than your mother.
Wow.
Our prayers will take you to places. And that is why in Yoruba land, Yoruba people have known about DNA long before you go discover DNA. In Yoruba land, when you go to juju man, they won't ask you for your father's name because you might not be his child. They'll ask you for your mother because then there was nothing like surrogacy or anything, you know. Once your mother gives back, at least the father might not be the father, but the mother, you know. So I try everything humanly possible to worship my mother. Whatever she needs, even if I don't have it, I will go out of my way to make sure that I get it for her, you know. So all those little things, it's part of my philosophies of life. And you have to, something should trigger you. Because even when I started doing social photography in Nigeria, what I was earning then, that's why people are still getting it today. Because if I just oppose what people were paying for weddings there, 5 million, 10 million, 20 million in this Nigeria, how many years ago? 15, 20 years ago. If you exchange it to dollars, then that was a lot of money.
Yes.
You know, but then is the grace. And then one day I woke up and said, I'm not doing it again.
Wow.
Because I do not see any future in it anymore. If I haven't stopped then, probably I'll be in serious wahala today. I won't be able to talk like this.
Absolutely.
I just stopped one day to say I'm not doing this anymore. One day I just said, no, I'm not doing this anymore. And people were phoning and I said, no, I've stopped doing it. And one thing I don't do is to contract me to take your whatever, your events, and I'm not send someone.
Somewhere. Yeah.
I did it once, and I don't think I'm going to mention your name. You know, it blew back into my face, big time. And that is what people are paying for. You're paying for that Adedayo style.
Absolutely.
And at the end of the day, when I stopped, I thank God I did, to venture into something else. Though it took me a while for me to get my balance again. But then today, I can now come out boldly to say, oh, thank God for that. So you have to sit back and think. It's not just about, any idiot can take pictures. And to what's in the matter, our mobile phones are even better than the cameras that we carry today.
Absolutely.
I'm using a phone that if I'm to buy the camera equivalent, will not be less than $200,000.
Sure.
You know, and 200 million megapixels, you know, with a lens that can go as far as about 1,000 millimeter. So what are you talking about? So things are changing, but those things have kept me at the top. I don't rest. I think while working and I see opportunities. We've not even started in Nigeria. Creatives, we've not started. You know, so you think you're doing big. You've not started anything. Because everybody is just in the centers. And there's so many things that we've not covered.
So many things we haven't covered. So have there been any challenges that you have experienced, you know, in the course of your journey? Specific challenges or difficult times, right, that you have had to navigate, and how did you do that? Because I think that, you know, one of the things we take for granted is that even in your journey as a creative, as a photographer, life happens, and life happens in different ways and to different people. Sometimes it comes, sometimes they shock, sometimes it's this. So I think that because we're in a profession where sometimes it's lonely because it's all about you, it's all about that. Some people go through things and seasons, and because they don't, they're not surrounded with a lot of people, it almost knocks them out, right? You see someone that is really good, and then all of a sudden you're like, okay, I'm not seeing this person anymore. Have you had to face any challenges at all?
No, I'll be lying to you if I say there has been no challenges. Like Ebenezer always sang, bó tilẹ̀ wù káyé wa láyọ̀ tó, alákòókò ẹkún rẹ̀. No matter how good life could be for you, there will be some times when things will be really bad. One is financials, because at times it will be as if we are fighting against the wind. It's a battle you can't win. Emotionally, if you are married and the money is not coming in, there was a time, it was a very sad time. Maybe I'll put that in my memoir, when my friends gathered on me, then that if this thing is not paying you, why not just go and do something else? And that's just the truth, and of course, if your spouse doesn't believe in what you are doing, that's another thing, because no matter how strong a man is, no matter how rich you are, there is still that woman that can press your mumu button. And once that is not there, you are dead. I had that emotional thing. I've recovered fully. And financials, early stages was really, really, really bad, because you'll be living from hand to mouth. From hand to mouth. And just like any other profession, it's going to take you a while to get to a cruising altitude. But those were the days of Siberia. Those were the days that God is preparing you for the future. And if you don't know if you cannot sustain and weather the storm, you will leave that and jump into another profession.
Yes,
absolutely. Do you know what is going to come after that? But once you have a conviction, now people can see me. If anyone knows me, everybody, or let me say it this way, everybody that knows me today in this world, there's nothing they know me for than what I do. Because this is what I've been doing all my life. And someone still praised me about 2 or 3 days ago to say, oh, Dayo, what I love about you is your consistency in what you are doing. Because money is relative, success is relative.
Yes.
Wale Soyinka, the first Nobel laureate in Africa, is known globally, not because he's rich. If there is to be war in Nigeria today, and there is only one space left on the last flight out of Nigeria, they will pick Wale Soyinka before they pick Dangote. That's a success. And that is the success I prayed for. And I've achieved that. I've achieved that success. And my prayer is just to achieve more. Because God at times, in His infinite mercy, will test you. That's a loyalty test. And those things that we are going through, that we think is the end of the world, were just the times of loyalty test. Will you continue to praise God? I have a shoe, like I said, I keep things about. I have a shoe that I kept up to tomorrow. I might even have it in my museum, in my gallery, if possible. My most expensive shoe at a point in my life. There are times when I wore shoes that were nearly gone. Not because I don't have money, that's the truth. But this is the only thing I do. And I won't go begging. But I've remained consistent, and God saw my heart. And that's why I said grace. Unfortunately, I cancelled my 60th birthday party. I've wanted to shoot a film titled Grace. Grace was the title, my theme for my 60th. I was meant to show a film for people to come to the movie theater. And that was what I planned to do, to see grace in me. Because if you, ẹni tó bá mọ núrò ló máa mọ pẹ́dú, is a deep thinker that will be able to thank God, to say, God, this is where I came from. And thank you for even life in itself, to be alive. My dad died at 47. His dad did not reach the age of 50. His own dad did not get to 50. Even having life alone is grace. Not to talk of my Lori there, here today, being known globally. So the challenges will be there, but I see it as a loyalty test of time. And once you can pass through that, then you go, because nothing, what else is there? There was a time you don't have one kobo in your pocket now. Now, if you have 1,000 naira, you might be broke, but you have 1,000 naira. But if you think deeply, there was a time that 1,000 naira was not even in your hand. Absolutely. And that is where it is. But the creatives should look for a spouse. If they are single, that should be interested in what they are doing, or understands what they are doing. And most importantly, the men get confused. Because when they start their creative business, most of them will be in employment. They're earning salary. So because you're earning salary and you're doing part-time job, being a videographer or a photographer, you think you're making money. The day you resign from that employment, that is when you know that job is not giving you money. So you should have a spouse that should understand, or sit your spouse down. Let your spouse know what is coming in and what is going out. Because aside from finances is the time. We have security challenges in Nigeria now. In those days when things were really relatively peaceful, I can just wake up at night and say, because something will just come up and let me go and do it now. There was a picture I took in Buguma in River State. At 6:30 a.m., people said, Dayo is dangerous. I said, no, I'm only going to take pictures now. And it turned out to be one of my best work in River State, because things will just happen to you that you have to respond. Just go to. If your spouse doesn't understand you, be a woman or a man, they might think, you're having extramarital affairs. Even though creatives generally, they are flat. Men, I don't know about women because I'm a man. Because you work with the opposite sex most of the time. And when I was doing my own, probably when I open my gallery, I have to be doing some talks once in a while.
Yes.
To motivate these young people, because women are the best thing God has ever created. And if you don't understand them, you'll find yourself in trouble. But generally, yes, I've had challenges of finances, pocket being dry. I've been arrested several times by police in the course of my line. Friends, I've been saying also, because it's your friends that knows you. People don't know you, they can't say anything bad about you. But I was persistent. And that is what brought me to this place. Money, marriage, tough.
Yeah.
Very tough. Very, very tough.
Yeah, I imagine.
Very, very tough.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that, sir. Seeing that, you talked about what has kept you relevant, this many years. And, I can't help but think that, because the industry has evolved, right? What would keep someone who is starting today, or who is probably 5 years or 10 years into the industry today, for the next 30 years or for the next 20 years, might be different? What would you say that, younger creatives should pay more attention to? And beyond the skills, beyond the ability to create images, what do you think, what would you say that we should be more sensitive to, to better position ourselves for, the evolving world?
Two things, actually. One is education. Most creatives in Nigeria do not have the formal training in the line of business. They pick it up as a hobby, or they see someone doing it and they too wanted to do it, and they started reading by themselves. There is a difference in you going to class, sitting in front of someone who studied this thing. Your technical ability will change completely. That's number one. The number two, the major challenge we have in Nigeria with creatives is business. They're not business minded. They are consumed by their aperture, by their ISO, by the lighting. Oh, this is, they have to pay the key highlights, you know. It's not, oh, let's put in more light into this, you know. That's what they're more interested in. Meanwhile, the market did not see what you were doing. So you have to come up, you have to think beyond the lens. Hereby, you have to think of your accounts.
You have to have a book that I've heard you say that like almost 10 times. Beyond the lens. I think.
Because the truth is, most of creatives today are graduates.
Yes.
In my time, those who were doing it were primary school graduates, not even secondary school, because the primary school of those days were far, far better than what you have HND or BSc today. I can tell you that for free.
Mm-hmm.
So to go to secondary school in those days was very competitive. And because there is no money, people think there is no money in Nigeria. There has never been money in Nigeria. So just put that aside. So what they have to do is education. There is a friend of Demola Olanira, Simio Gidon, because all the junior ones, all my mentees, right? The only thing I preach to them is education. And Demola being number one, the training Demola got in Germany was what changed his life today. If he's here, I'm sure he will confirm with you. When Simi got to New York to go and study photography, and we met, he said, Uncle Dayo, thank you very much. There is another guy, one of my mentees, who is now a PhD holder. He was working with Glow. What's his name now? Sugar. I've forgotten his name. He's my very good at bro.
Yeah.
You know, on getting to the UK, he can't stop thanking me. I met his dad recently, you know, Tunde. Did you hear me? No, Tunde, I forgot. His first name is Tunde. I've forgotten his surname now. You know, and education is key. You think you know. The truth is you don't know.
Wow.
Because what is disrupting the creatives these days is technology. So by the time you go to school, there are things they will teach you in school that you will not pick up, even if you pick it up on the streets. What you will learn in school in 10 minutes might take you 10 years to learn on the streets.
Wow.
So with education, then while you're in school, they will teach you the business of photography or whatever you are doing. Now people don't even cost themselves.
Yes.
Okay, you are charging how much? 1 million naira for a wedding. If I sit down with anybody charging 1 million naira for a wedding, that person will realize that he is the one giving the bride and groom money. They've not done him any favor.
Absolutely.
Because do you cost your time? And another problem is because you guys are shooting on digital. In those days when we shoot on films, you have to manage what you shoot. So if you are going for a wedding, I think the highest I've ever taken with me must be about 5 rolls. That was 35 mil. But when I started shooting medium format, my medium format was even 6.7. Mamiya, 10 exposures. I can't buy more than 10 films, 10 rolls of films. That's 100 exposures for a whole wedding. I.e., you have to compose, do everything right the way you have to do it. You don't take 50 pictures just because of one. You take one picture for one picture. And at the end of the day, you don't have more than 45 or 50 pictures in the album. And that will tell you the whole story from morning till night. That's a medium format. So 35 mil, I think 5 rolls was the highest, 36 exposures. So how many pictures can you take? So that is education for you. With education, you'll be able to understand what you are doing. You'll be able to cost yourself. How much is it for me to sit down by my computer for 1 hour? If you know the cost of all those things, then how much are my equipment? Because depreciation comes into your equipment.
Absolutely.
So you have to be able to depreciate that.
Absolutely.
Then insurance. So how many of them will be robbed and be able to replace what was stolen immediately, or they have an accident? How many creatives can do that? All those things you have to put into consideration. By the time you cost everything together, you just find out that, oof, I'm not making money. No wonder Madame is fighting with me at home. You know, because you are just wasting your time chasing shadows. That's the way I see it. You know, so there are several things around it, and it's very worrisome now with technology coming in. Technology is going to take everybody out.
Wow.
It started over 10 years ago. If you go abroad now, you hardly see a photo studio in Europe or America on the high street. Absolutely impossible. Technology has taken everyone out. If you are not a photographer, when was the last time you go into a studio to have a family photo? So technology is coming in. So look at COVID. During COVID, only God knows the numbers of people that are helped out during COVID. I mean, creatives. Because there was no job. Nobody doing studio. Nobody doing the party. So what do? Meanwhile, dayo Adedayo was making money during COVID. People were stuck at home, so they have to buy books to read. So you have to think beyond the lens and see the value chains in what you are doing.
The value chains in what you're doing.
You don't plant cocoa and sell raw to Nestle. One bar of chocolate to buy the whole cocoa that takes you about 3-4 years to produce. You give me your image, I'll put it on a billboard. That will cost about 10 million naira. And how much do they pay for that image? So you have to start looking at how can I make money from my images while I am sleeping? And that is part of what I'm planning to do as a legacy. I mean, I have been opportuned, you know, to brace all these things. And I can as well just go to Banana Island or Eco Atlantic, blow my money, be forming big all over the place, dead, and that's the end of the story. I don't want to do that. Because I always leave a place and leave my mark. That has always been my philosophy. And of what use is your brain coming into this world and not impacting anybody? So that means there's nothing there. And my children can wake up all my work and just throw it in the trash because it's not their life. I didn't follow my father's footsteps. He was a jeweler. I never became a jeweler. You know, so that's the way life is. So they have to reason beyond the lens, i.e., the value chains. What? Am I going to become an author? Go to a publisher to say, oh, I have this body of work. Can I help me? Or can you help me do this? And it's one of the reasons I respect the greatest photographer ever in the history of Nigeria, George Oshodi. He is the greatest photographer ever born on this land geographical space called Nigeria.
Wow.
I respect him so much, you know, because of his body of work and what he has been able to do. He's looking at the value chains. You don't see him, he's not in your face.
No.
And he is doing what he has to do to be who he has to be.
Wow.
You know, so you have to look at the value chains of what you are doing. But education is the beginning of that whole process.
It helps you to start to think differently.
Absolutely, you have to think differently. Because if you don't think differently, you are thinking you want to be like Gazmadu, you want to be like that, do that. You are just wasting your time because you can never be another Gazmadu.
Absolutely.
T.Y. Bello is that. Was there anyone before T.Y. Bello? The answer is no. And there can never be another T.Y. Bello.
Absolutely.
If it is not dayo Adedayo, it's not dayo Adedayo.
Absolutely.
That's the way I see my life. And I'm not copying anybody, I'm just myself. You know? And you too should try as much as possible to be yourself, because I wanted to be your Yusuf Cash. Do you know Yusuf Cash?
I've heard the name.
You've seen his work.
Yeah.
There is no creative that I've never seen his work. He was one of the greatest photographers of the 20th century.
Oh.
He was a portrait photographer. Out of the 100 people, the greatest ever of the 20th century, he photographed 58 of them. The photograph of Winston Churchill, where he was standing at Kimball, that was the picture that made him. That's Yusuf Cash work. I wanted to be a Yusuf Cash. But one of my lecturers said, you can't do this. It's not you. You know, I did everything in the books to be like a Yusuf. Well, of course, I didn't turn out to be Yusuf.
Absolutely.
So I was just myself. So you can never be anybody. And that is what education does for you as well. because you'll be able to study other people's work. There's nothing new under the sun. I mean, you want to talk of portraiture, you want to talk of landscape. All the greatest pictures were done without digital, with all these razzmatazz that we do now.
Absolutely.
Everything done on glass plates, you know, in the dark room. But when you go to school and you study all these people, that will even change your ways of thinking, your ways of doing things, to say, oh, so this is how it is done.
Yeah.
Rather than just going through the narrow part of, oh, I'm looking at this guy. Oh, I want to be Bayo Mongoli. I want to be the one around, you know.
So,
it doesn't work that way at all.
So good. Thank you so much. That's so good. I mean, we have to close by even talking about the gallery. I mean, you know, you talked briefly about it, about, you know, what one of your life philosophies is leaving a mark. And I think it's just, you know, from the time you showed me the prototype and just looking at the progression, and it's almost ready. It's just mind blowing, you know, what is about to hit us.
Thank you. Thank you.
So can you share, like, why was it important for you to do that, and what impact do you see that having in the industry?
The reason is nobody's going to be here forever. The only thing that is certain in this world is death. It's not certain you're going to be rich.
Wow.
It's not certain your life will be better. But the only thing that is certain is you will die. Once you are here, nobody's living here alive. And it's something I've been thinking for the past 21 years, written down, you know, so when the opportunity came, because for me, what's the point of me being rich? Yoruba people will say, Lowo Konlani Otoshinewa, Otoshinoni. One rich man in the midst of 10 family members. Poor family member, 10 poor family members is also a poor man. You know, for me, I think it's the best thing that has ever happened in the creative sector, because here, creatives can sell their work to the rest of the world. Now they have a platform where they can all come to engage people, because I'll be bringing people in from abroad. Abroad could be Republic of Benin, abroad could be Australia, you know, to come and share their experience with guys. The most importantly for me is Nigerian creatives are going gaga, but their pocket is going go, go, go. It's deeper. There is no money coming into it. I mean, imagine what Bayo did on former President Buhari, right? And so also are so many public figures.
Yes.
Without them, nobody knows them.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, they're not respecting us. They too do not respect themselves. The creatives do not respect themselves as well. And that's a major, major, major issue. They see themselves as lowly, poorly, and that's how they will treat you.
Okay.
You know, you go for a function where you have to dress. It's part of the training that we got in school, where you have to dress, even if not better than the people who are having the event. You just dress shabbishly, rucksack, smelly. Why wouldn't they push you aside? In those days when I was doing my social photography, people always wonder, oh, where is this one from? Time, boom, boom, boom. I started wearing native not too long ago. You know, proper suit, dress well, tie, smell nice. Is all part of it. And that's what people are paying for.
Yes.
You don't want to charge that much. And you now come as a poor guy. And then I will tell people to come and meet me. So when you see my dwelling, it's a different ballgame entirely.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So it's all part of what you are paying for. And that's the way it is. I learned from the best. So the gallery is for creatives. Advert will soon go out to submit your work with your lawyer. We have our in-house lawyer as well, because we have to sit down, draft laws. And what we are doing is like Amazon, because I sell on Amazon. So what Amazon does is immediately someone buys your products, you get a notification. It's real time.
Real time.
Yeah, you get a notification of who bought your product, where the product is going to. So that's what we're doing as well. We've been working on our website for over a year, because it's really huge.
Right.
So what we want to do is, as someone is paying by and the money has gone through, you will get an alert. Immediately, we to get our own alert, and we're not going to warehouse any money. The money goes straight to you the following within 24 hours to get your money.
Oh, wow.
For accounting purposes.
Wow.
But we need to sit down, work the percentage out, what we're going to take. My belief is 10% of something is better than 100% of nothing.
Absolutely.
So you can be sleeping while the Adedayo is making all the efforts to make sure you sell. And because there is nothing like that in the country, we have a platform where everybody can now shine. Part of what we're going to do as well, the memorabilia I wanted to do myself, but now I'm throwing that out to help creatives as well. If you can use your images to create memorabilia that will be selling.
What's a memory?
Memorabilia, merchandise, car fridge, face cap, t-shirt,
right.
all those things,
Okay.
that damn fool, everything, that we can sell. Over 400 of them will be selling in different formats, even sunglasses, wristwatch. If you can come up with anything, as long as it meets our standard, we will sell. And as we are selling, we are making money. As I'm talking to you now, right now, there's no way you can go in Nigeria. I'm not talking of Lagos to get the states.
I agree.
So
Sure.
we are doing something that nobody has ever done.
Yes.
And my mom would say, if you do something that nobody has ever done before, your eyes will see what nobody has ever seen. So I hope my pocket will see what no photographer has ever seen before. So for me, is a platform for creatives to make money. Is a platform that will enhance everybody. But most importantly, is for the love I have for this country. Because it's going to be your first point of call if you are a tourist in Nigeria to come to visit Nigeria, or if you're in Nigeria, if you're a Nigerian, is your first point of contact. Why? Because you can travel from Abia State to Zamfara without leaving the comfort of our building. Then there's another room, which is the boat room, where our first stop is Marina. So you take your boat from Marina to anywhere that is waterways in Nigeria. So you get into the creeks and you'll be hearing the birds chiming all over. Then there could be thunderstorm along the line, and there could be rainfall, and water will be dropping, but it will now. They've done it in such a way that it won't drop on you, but you will see water drop. I will feel the effects of rainfall in the boat while you're in the boat. So that to me is something that is the beginning of a journey. I believe someone somewhere along the line will have a better understanding, because I'm not a brilliant student, but you will have a better understanding that will be able to set up something bigger. Of what benefit is it to me and my family? I visited you once. Because my house is really lovely. Let's go and do a weekend there. We go. Then at the time, we come and do 1 week. You still accept us. 1 month. 3 months. Ogbeni, what's happened? That's what we're doing to ourselves in Nigeria when I say we want to jackpot. Which buttress my point of costing the land to work in. You want to jackpot to a country that you believe is good. Even before you set foot on that country, you believe the land will bless you. So that land will bless you. If you still carry that belief that land will bless you, but on getting there, if you start thinking otherwise, you will become BLB in Yoruba parlance. Boshelo Lobo. The way you go is the way you will come back. So we have no other country but Nigeria. And nobody is going to fix this country for us but us. So in my only the only way I can do that is through visuals. Because I've seen the beauty of Nigeria. I've been to several countries across the globe. And I believe Nigeria is the most beautiful country in the world. And there are several places, things in Nigeria that we don't value. Unfortunately for us in the country, the few of us that are opportune, just few, negligible, tiny percentage that are opportune to go to school are the ones messing this country up. Because we are not honest. We are not honest to ourselves. Just a fraction of us are the ones that are lucky to go beyond secondary school. A vast majority of Nigerians do not have that kind of opportunity. You know, so for me, Nigeria has been kind to me. Nigeria has been good to me. So what do I have to give back to Nigeria? Just that. I can just use my money to be doing things where around town. I don't know anybody, but at the end of the day, how will I feel inside me? My joy is for me to see Nigeria out there, for people to be fighting to get Nigerian passport, which they are doing already. But we Nigerians do not see that. I mean, I was in Doha some few months ago. On my way back to Nigeria, 80% of the people on our flight were non-Nigerians. White skin. They're not coming to look at Babish or see what is going on the Lagos Calabar Road.
Yep.
They're coming here to make money.
Thank you so much. You've really shared a whole lot. And I'm sure that anyone watching this video is going to get, a lot from it. And, I'm very excited about the gallery. It's launching.
We're launching the gallery in December, but the building itself will be ready in June.
Okay.
But of course, because of the digital component, where you can travel, the staircase is digital, with pictures coming up,
Yeah.
And the building itself, I pray and hope, is going to be one of the iconic buildings in the country.
Yes.
The design is different.
Yes.
You can't put what there is it. And there is another thing that I wanted to do, not just the gallery alone. It is part of me to make my country better. I want to take over the whole street, landscape it with trees. So in another 5-6 years' time, it becomes a boulevard with the canopy forming with the trees, street light, everything done. Then there is this huge sign in front of our building. I love Lagos. So
good.
Young people can.
That's already a. It reminds me of there's a place in Ghana that has that I love Ghana. Yes, and I don't think there's any place. Even I love you in New York. I don't think there's any I love Lagos.
Yes, no, it's not. It's not. So I love Lagos, where people can take pictures, and our building is going to be like Times Square, because we have 2 buildings wrapped with LED, and the ground floor of the building is glass. So inside the glass, videos will be playing 24/7
so good.
Of cities, towns, and villages across Nigeria. Just to promote this beautiful geographical space called Nigeria. And the more we appreciate it, the more our life gets better. That's the way I see it. Yeah. And my life has been better and better and better. I have no other country than Nigeria. And I thank God for making me to be a Nigerian. Now, when I remember Ebenezer Obey's song, I sang in the 70s, "No place is like my country. No, no, no. Yeah. I remember the sunshine, rain fall out forest." I'm a fan of a religion.
So for you now, right? What is more for you? Like when you think of, because I feel like at every stage there's always a desire for, for someone younger, it's like, oh, I can't wait when I blow. I can't wait for when this, looking forward to when, but you're at the stage where you're creating legacy work and all of those things. What would you describe as more for you? How at this stage, how do you keep yourself in that place of still, I wouldn't say relevant, but just not retiring? I don't know. Yeah.
No, I can't retire from the job. My role model is David Attenborough. He's going to be 97. No, I think he's 97 already. And he's still working. My dream is to replicate my gallery, because this one in Lagos is called the DAP Experience Center, Lagos. My dream is to have it across Nigeria, right? Then take it out of Nigeria and go to Africa. That's my dream. That's why I'm working with my team. And the truth of the matter is, Africa is the last frontier. We are still a developing nation, so there are opportunities all over Africa. And if you come back to Nigeria, I keep telling people, this is a land of make and money. There's still a lot of work to do. I've just started, but once the gallery is ready now, I will hardly be there, because I don't make money sitting in one place. I make money taking pictures all over. And once the security challenges are subdued, because when I was doing my Nigerian project, there was no drone. I have to air helicopters in some places.
True.
Now, drones is there, and I have several things I wanted to do. You know, the technology is better. There are places I wanted to revisit with a better camera,
Oh,
you know,
that's
and you know, I have spectrums of camera. There is one that I even want to use one for, which is going to be different. But because I have publishing in my brain, rather than exhibiting, because when you exhibit, only few people will be there. But when you publish a book, you never know the mileage the book will go. So there are so many things that I still want to do, several ideas in my brain, and most importantly, is to my prayer is for those coming behind us to be a lot better and achieve more than us, because that's the only way the profession that one knows himself in can be sustainable. The one thing that is key that is missing throughout in the creative industry in Nigeria is an association. We call ourselves creatives. Nollywood people have been able to come up with an association. The musician has been able to come up with an association. Okada came in just yesterday. Okada have an association. Taxi drivers association. Photographers, videographer, zero association. Because everybody is trying to be, you know, without that, there is no way we'll be able to do most of the things we need to do. If you take your camera today to say you want to go somewhere to photograph, you'll be arrested, detained. There's nobody to speak on your behalf. And without that, we don't have an association that will go to National Assembly to lobby the legislatures to say, you shouldn't be arresting these people. They are marketing the country. I mean, look at the guy that did the Third Mainland Bridge. When he was arrested on the Lekki Koiling Bridge, what is he going to do with the bridge? What will he do with the bridge to start with?
Yeah.
What will the video do to the bridge? Bridge that is all over the place, in pictures, in movies and stuff like that. So what will the video do? But because there is no legislation, there is no organization that will come together to say, okay, this is where we are. And that is why guys are poor. Because if you look at the NBA, the Nigerian Bar Association or the Nigerian Medical Association, there are things, there are ethics that you can't do. So someone can come up and say, oh, he's charging 10 naira. Meanwhile, you that spent years to do the training and stuff, we say, oh, we want to charge 1,000 naira. I mean, poles apart. But if you have the association, that will put more money into guys' pocket, because now the association will say, don't go below this. And in doing that, then again is insurance. Look at the older ones. They can't work anymore. They are poorer than the church rats. No insurance, no association to take care. Because if you have association one, what association does is you have a network of friends.
Yes.
Then you can have insurance somewhere, some people will come from, be paying money into it. So when you retire or anything happens to you, like an accident or anything, the association will take it up. In the absence of that, you just be wallowing in abject poverty. You know, so that is key to me. And I hope and pray by the time the gallery is ready, there'll be a platform where people will come and say, okay, guys, you've been doing this forever. Let's do this. Not for me. I'm not even in that field of saying, oh, to be the chairman or anything, because I'm not an organized person, you know, but there are people who can do that on behalf of the creatives. But there are so many things that are still in the brain. Of course, you can't finish everything. Even if you're 1,000 years and you still have the energy, you still want to think. But my dream is to replicate the gallery across the country and bump into Africa. That is what we are working on at the moment.
So good. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for the privilege to share, you know, your journey, your heart, you know, lessons, and, you know, everything that's happening with the gallery. You know, thank you. It's always such a privilege and an honor to talk with you. And I know that the chance that we're going to have more and more conversation.
Awesome. And
even with this association thing, you're not, I think almost everybody now that I've, you know, spoken with, you know, and TTY or Greater Madi, everybody's still talking about. So it means that it is an actual problem. And something has to be done about it.
It's not for us, actually. It's for the younger ones.
Yes, you know, something has to be done about it, because you know. And one thing that keeps, you know, that is always in my mind is like, so what to be done about it, right? Who are the people that can take it upon themselves to say, you know what, I'll put myself in the line and ensure this happens. I believe government prefers to deal with organizations,
yes,
more than individuals.
That's the only way you can progress.
Yes,
Otherwise,
yes.
nobody will listen to you.
Yes, yes.